Okay, welcome to the podcast, everybody. First pitch was just thrown. If you're going to try and sync this up, there will be a bit of a delay, so just try to bear with it. First one of these we've done, Blue Jays Companion Podcast. I got Matt Parmiter joining me today, first time on the podcast. So you were just saying, so in the playoffs, I mean, I just started watching baseball for about 3 years. So Harder's kind of been my go-to question as I'm watching pitches, nice. First hit, thank you, Revere. That's a great start. I've been ragging on Revere. That's the one, because, I mean, he gets on all season, the last 2 months. He was getting on consistently, and then this series, he dried up.
The bottom half of the lineup was, pretty wild. For a guy like Donaldson hitting in a two-hole to lead the league in RBIs.
Exactly.
Someone at that end of the lineup doing their job for
Exactly.
But
they all, really, when you look at it, it was the same for Bautista and it was the same for Encarnacion, because you had Donaldson hitting in front of them, Bautista hitting in front of them. It's pretty easy to get those RBIs in when you have that kind of hitting in front of you, right?
Pretty wild, yeah. Even when Jose Reyes was there too, he was before he gets injured a lot. But
yeah, he did get injured quite a bit. He came. That was the year I basically started watching and following. I used to watch a little bit here and there, but I always found it boring. To be honest, I couldn't follow it. And then what turned it around for me? I think I talked about this on another podcast. Was that year the Cardinals had that crazy comeback? Watching that, I was doing a side job that one game, and that turned it around for me.
pretty crazy.
I'd always watched playoff ball, but that kind of.
It's not your sport. It's kind of one of those things that I don't watch a lot of other sports too fully, but in the playoffs you kind of have an appreciation for it, so it's a little more interesting for sure.
Yeah. What the hell?
There was strikeout Donaldson.
Yeah, what? Oh, that's right. No wonder. Sorry if anybody was listening, your mic was off. I forgot. That's not. I got 4 mics hooked up, but only 3 of them up here, and I thought that was. Oh well. Technical difficulties haven't ended yet on this podcast. Still learning.
Yeah, they did a pretty crazy job trading for guys this year.
Yeah, it's funny. Up until this year, again, just started watching. I was never really that impressed with Anthopoulos, but you're not going to really see what he's done to their prospects right away
for a couple of years.
But
you kind of see it now with Noah Syndergaard pitching for the Mets.
That's what I was just going to say.
That was one of the difficult ones, but at the time when the Jays are. That's the thing. It's one of those, if you don't make the moves, everyone complains. And then,
exactly.
You traded for a Cy Young winner, Knuckleball, who pitches better indoors.
Yeah.
So you got a guy that's coming to an indoor stadium, won a Cy Young. It's one of those things where you take the risk on the...
For the possibility of a reward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just unfortunate that Travis d'Arnaud and Noah Syndergaard are
I know.
seriously
d'Arnaud, I haven't heard much about d'Arnaud.
He's been hurt a lot. He's a catcher. But
okay.
When he's playing, he hits well. He really came around this year, and I imagine if he's healthy next year, you're going to start kind of...
seeing him in the lineup more.
Yeah, you're going to hear more of Buster Posey-ish kind of things about him.
Yeah. I think he was under a lot of pressure. He had... Bautista and Encarnacion, he had Stroman coming up, and he finally probably just figured, I got to pull the trigger at some point.
Yeah, absolutely. It was crazy. There was a lot of free agent bullpen pitchers this year that signed, all over the place, and it was kind of wild to see them not exactly go after anything.
Yeah.
And so,
Yeah, and it's tough with the Syndergaard thing. That was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
You don't know, does he develop in their system? You really don't know. That's the thing with
That's
this.
the risk you take on the rookies, though, right?
Yeah.
Seems to be a lot of guys in the last couple of years coming up, though, that are make a big difference out there.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the Mets especially, like Matt Harvey, Jacob deGrom, and Syndergaard this year. Like,
yeah, and their payroll. I remember they were comparing like the Dodgers starting pitchers to theirs.
Yeah.
Like the three of them don't even add up to one.
Rookie contracts.
That's crazy. They're all gonna get paid though, and there's no way they're gonna be able to keep all three. I don't think.
It'll be tough for them. Well, they've even had for years now kind of an overload on starting pitching. So you got Bartolo Colon in his 40s who.
I love that guy.
Pretty wild to see him do.
I love watching him pitch, man. Yeah. I don't know. There's just something about a big guy like that who's just like you watch him and like doesn't matter what's happening, his facial expressions really like don't change. Yeah. He's always the same mannered. He always I don't know.
A couple times this year they had earlier in the season when I think he started off like 5 or 6-0, and there was some he got some base hits in games and running down the line and fielding bunts and just kind of falling over and stuff, and they're always sure to get those highlights.
He's 42, right? And
I'm not.
Dickey's 40. No,
40 something.
Yeah, he's 40 something.
43 maybe.
Yeah. I don't know. I like watching him pitch. I like his. That's the thing that now I've gained an appreciation for in baseball is. Everyone has a different style.
Yeah.
Like especially like just take pitching.
Yeah.
These like the kinds of windups these guys have. Like the guy for Texas who is throwing the old school
the big loop back.
Oh, just right back.
I know it's totally different.
And these guys like even Kershaw's wind up and there's a reliever for the Mets who's got or not for the Mets for the Cubs who has that like cock. As he gets back he kind of holds it and then
Nishak too goes that sidearm, does the rock back and forth.
Yeah,
it's different. Yeah, but I mean, whatever works for guys, I guess. It's just
I always had a problem with the like sidearm. To me, like I was always, how is that? Again, I guess I think it was Jacob. He was like, it doesn't matter. You're just getting the ball over the plate as a pitcher. Like your like the way you go about it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So
that's for sure. And like the thing about changing your arm angle like that, when I was playing ball in Red Deer a couple years ago. We had this guy from New Mexico, and he'd throw 80% of his pitches up top, and then he'd go down for a sidearm slider. Yeah. Which, I mean, when you're, as a hitter, someone changes their arm slot on you. I mean, baseball players are total creatures of habit. So when you're completely used to seeing one thing, it's quite an adjustment to like kind of change up where you're looking and hitting. So it helps big time for pitchers.
I never got far enough into baseball like where that became an issue.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I stopped playing in Pee Wee, I think. I think that was my last year, was my Pee Wee second year. And I mean, guys could throw decent, but I don't think you start seeing, the different pitches and stuff like that. And I wasn't playing a high level either. So that also makes a big difference.
Yeah, I think kind of the bantam midget age, he'll start, bantam especially. And there were some pretty good players in Aldergrove back in the day there with Scott Matheson and Frank Taylor and those teams that Doug Matheson used to run out here before they went to the Blaze organization, right? It was, good teams. Even, our teams with Harder over the years.
You played with him, right?
Yep. I was his bench riding protege. Yeah, no, Jake.
You were a pitcher too?
Yeah. Jake still throws really well, I'm pretty sure.
From what he says. Yeah, he does.
he lets you know. No, he was always a really good pitcher. It was fun, man, those years. We always had just kind of enough guys to field the team and
you were all pretty much friends, right?
Yeah.
It makes a huge difference.
It's fun. Goins.
Big fan of Goins.
How about him coming back in that last game with the 2 RBI double and then a home run?
That was after he messed up that game too, right?
Yeah. Pretty crazy for people to say like him dropping that ball caused the loss. Like
you got to be able to rally off of that, man. That's what good teams do.
It's one play.
That's the thing, though, is that they rallied off of it instead of us rallying behind it.
So one thing you'll see a ton in baseball too, right? Like one little momentum shift is sometimes all you need to break the door.
Well, yeah, and up until that point, Price was put on a clinic.
Well, lights out. I think it was the first batter got a hit, and then he sat 18 straight.
Yeah.
I'd like to see that out of him today.
Yeah, I know.
One thing I find weird with Price he's so good.
Yeah.
But like for a guy who has his control and throws 95, like we should kind of like brush a few, like have a little more of a mean streak. I
was watching SportsCenter this morning, and the guy was saying the exact same thing. He was saying you got to put that, like you got to get him off the plate.
It's important, man, to back guys up.
it's
if you let a guy be comfortable and like you just know.
Yeah.
I mean, like these guys make millions because they can hit 95-mile-an-hour fastballs.
Exactly.
It's not. Yeah, it's difficult, but
every time.
if you're just gonna throw strikes and let a guy get in his comfort zone,
Yeah.
that's what's gonna happen. Right
Yeah.
there.
That's gone.
Ben Zobrist.
Yeah, he's been on fire. That's the one
It was
thing.
a huge pickup for Kansas to pick him
he
up
was.
coming into
That
this.
was huge. It was just, it's the same as us getting Tulo. Same kind of thing, right? I mean, we've got defensively one of the best. I still think the way Goins is playing defensively, he's one of the best in the league.
Yeah.
But he doesn't hit like Zobrist hits. Not even close.
He like kind of has his hots and colds, Like
Yeah, that's true.
He goes through streaks, which is, being a rookie though, like
Yeah.
I
He's just
think
got to get consistent. Pilar was the same way.
Yeah.
And look at how he's played the last few months.
Pilar's wild.
Yeah.
Like he was kind of coming into this year as the fourth outfielder.
Yeah.
And no one really
Gave
had him out there,
yeah.
and then you start seeing him Superman
and
a
then
couple
he's
times.
running the outfield.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's a special player, Pilar.
Yeah.
And hope they lock him up for a long time.
But that's where, like, you look at their system is finally pulling these guys up. Goins, Pilar. Who else has come up in this? They were
Stroman,
talking about, and then
Sanchez,
pitching wise,
Ozuna,
yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
That's crazy. That Dalton Pompey too.
Yeah.
He's going to be a special player too.
Yeah, he's like 24, so he's still young too.
I think he's younger than that.
Yeah.
Even Canadian too, which is cool.
Yeah,
It's always nice.
I thought he was 20. Yeah, somewhere he's around there. He's like early to mid 20s, right? Dalton.
They just play this over and over again. Hey, it's so difficult all year listening to Buck and Pat, and then going to these American feeds.
Yeah.
Like they're just so anti Blue Jays on the radio.
Really?
Oh yeah. Like just.
On the radio, they haven't been on, like, from what I've watched, they haven't been anti-Blue Jays. I mean, they pumping both teams' tires, really. Yeah.
It's pretty funny when you start getting like the USA chants and stuff going
Yeah.
during the games there.
Yeah.
We went down to LA and watched the Blue Jays series with the Angels, and like the Jays.
The last one they had?
Yeah, in August.
Yeah.
We were down there.
Great series
Yeah,
to go
it was
watch, man.
10-3 and
I was on the
15
island.
something that we the two games we were at, and then the next day they were down 5-0 in the first with Dickey pitching, but they came back and won.
And that's exactly, like, Harder hates Dickey as far as being in the playoffs, right? Because you can't trust him.
Yeah.
As far you can, but
It's difficult.
It can go awry really
Real
fast,
and that's
right?
exactly what happened.
Exactly.
In his last
But,
start, right?
His in that game it's tough because his command just wasn't there. He had the movement.
Yeah.
He just didn't have it hitting the strike zone.
Yeah.
And
That's
so as soon as it did, they just were swinging at it, and they weren't swinging at anything else.
Yeah, that's the big problem with the knuckleball, though. Like with other pitchers throwing 3 or 4 different pitches, you're gonna see, a guy intentionally miss the plate, or they'll aim at a corner, they'll come in, they'll go high, they'll go low.
Yeah.
And with the knuckleball, like you're just trying to throw a strike. And I know Dickey says he controls it and does what he wants with it.
Yeah.
But you think you'd see that more. It's weird. The games that he's on, it's just like wow.
Yeah.
But
just that game, he was after those 5 runs.
Yeah.
He was lights out.
Lights out. Yeah. Well,
and that's what I think
the
it
second
could have
half-
happened in this game.
It could
But
have.
You can't risk that. Unfortunately, the game just got way out of control anyway.
It was tough that one game. They pulled him there after 4.3 and put Price in.
Yeah,
for 3 innings.
I didn't like that. Harder, he was a fan of it. He didn't want to see him, like, I didn't want to see him come in yesterday or the last game.
Yeah.
I thought that would have been
then you would've blown
retarded.
his start for today, right?
It wasn't even so much that, because he probably could have rested if he only pitched an inning or two and come back Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
But
You see a lot of that just because guys have their side day, right? So they're
Yeah.
going to be throwing a 30-40 pitch bullpen anyways.
yeah.
But I mean, it's
See, this is the kind of stuff that, like, I love learning about.
Yeah.
Like
Like
a new sport, you get into it and you start learning all this stuff. And baseball has so much to learn.
There's
man.
it's
so
wild.
many little intricacies to it.
There's a documentary called Ken Burns Baseball.
Okay.
I think it's on Netflix. But if you ever are doing a Netflix
Ken
thing,
Burns baseball.
yeah, Ken Burns is the guy who made it, and it goes. If you kind of have an interest in learning, it has the absolute history of the game, and it is just like it's a 10 DVD set, and it is just wild.
Like, how much has the game changed since, say, like, you know, the early 1900s? Like, has it really even changed that much?
You know what? That's the one beautiful thing about ball is it hasn't.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of different things, but
there's
like,
different
as far
pitches
as,
have come and gone.
yeah,
like,
I mean, you see probably a lot different in how the game's played, and you know,
managing it and stuff like that. But the actual rules of the game,
not that much. You know,
Yeah.
you see this reviews come in, and you know they got the Buster Posey rule now.
what's the Buster Posey rule?
Well, you can't run a catcher, and a catcher can't.
Oh,
block
right,
the
that he
plate.
has to be. That happened in one of those games, right?
Yeah.
I remember it could have. It was was it the game that Price lost in this series where Martin was off the plate, and if he had been on the plate,
He could have
he
blocked.
could
the
have.
guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy. I mean, I don't like the rule personally.
Yeah, no,
I
it
like
was always part of the game.
Watching
Right?
the catcher getting crushed, and that's even
It's like the only contact in baseball, really,
Yeah,
right?
for the
Other
most
than
part.
the odd
It's fun though, right? Like,
fielders kind of running into each other.
It's good to see it, and even shortly after that happened, Greg Zahn on Sportsnet used to have his little fielding things with Zahn, and like catchers are taught how to take
yeah,
a hit, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's unfortunate, like the plays happen so fast, so you can't necessarily stop it, but being down kind of in a butterfly goalie stance to take a impact, obviously it's going to snap
Oh,
your knees, right? Like
yeah.
you kind of should be down with one leg and ready to roll with the impact.
Yeah.
And guys are taught that when we're
Well, and it's beautiful. It's beautiful because it can change the call.
yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
If you can hold on to it, the guy's out. If you're off a little bit and he's able to knock that ball loose, completely change things. And that's where, like, even to me, like, oh, that looked like a strike. Even having, like, say, like, stealing home,
Yeah.
I think you probably see that more with the guy if you're allowed to hit the catcher.
If you could, because you're throwing
Yeah.
that as part
Because, hey,
of
you know
the
what?
chance
We're
to
down.
knock
This is our
out.
last shot. Let's give it. You go for it. One
I
out.
don't think I've ever seen somebody steal home in a game.
No.
It'd be cool. It'd be fun. That'd
Yeah.
fire people up.
Pretty sure I've seen it happen in Major League. Great movie.
Great movie.
One of the best sports movies probably of all time.
It's among the baseball great movies for sure.
Mm-hmm.
You think
Even the second one's awesome.
Major League? Yeah, third one dries out a little.
Because the second one brings in the basically like the Kawasaki character.
Mm-hmm.
Taka, what the heck was his name in the
Might
movie?
be Takahashi's.
Yeah, something like that.
But
But the
it's-
same reminds me a lot of Kawasaki,
Yeah.
right? Just kind of a goofball.
It's pretty wild, yeah. There's no, he's fun. His interviews are so awesome
Yeah.
out there. Like I think yeah, he's been a big part of like getting,
Bringing
like,
the
a lot
team
of people have like Asian people that go watch games,
Yeah.
have a pretty serious interest in the players that play in the Major League. They
Yeah.
always have a really good support and following. Big time.
Oh,
And
I wouldn't. Yeah, I bet.
Ichiro for sure.
Yeah.
He's pretty crazy. He pitched
Did he?
at the end of the year. He was talking.
Oh yeah, no, that's right. I seen that. And then Pennington pitches.
Yeah. And Pennington came in with
91.
with movement.
Yeah.
He's throwing curveballs.
He
and
must
stuff.
have pitched in high school and still kind of throws every
Yeah.
once in a
You know,
while.
I think when you see like a lot of guys warming up before a game,
Yeah.
everybody's a pitcher
Yeah.
in their own mind, so guys
Yeah.
mess around with
and you're
that.
around all the time. You're talking to your pitchers. You're asking, how do you throw that?
Yeah.
And you're trying stuff out.
for sure. When guys
Right?
warm up, especially just
Yeah.
goofing around in the field. But no, it was pretty cool to see. The Jays picked up that guy that throws both hands, Pat Venditte from Oakland.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they picked him up on waivers. So.
And how old is he?
I think
Is
he's in his 30s.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember reading something about this guy.
It's
Crazy.
crazy.
He's really got to work at it if he wants to actually
Yeah.
pitch, right? I
Yeah.
mean, that's more of like a gimmick
Oh,
for
he's
right
been-
now.
he was pitching for
Get through.
Oakland this year.
Oh, he actually was
Yeah,
pitching.
he was in the major leagues.
So can he get on the mound and actually like pitch
a batter-
pitch one way and then turn, or he has to stay one way?
A batter has to announce his position in the batter's box first. and
Okay.
then he can decide which hand to pitch with.
Okay, but
So-
once he throws one, he can't go back and forth.
No.
Okay,
No.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's what I figured. Can you grab me a beer?
Yeah, for sure.
Chance? There's Rainier and there's Pilsner. I'll have a Pilsner. And there's Kokanee, I think, too. Cheers.
Yeah, they got a lot of these guys locked up for a couple of years here, which
They
is
do.
nice.
Martin, Tulo, Bautista, Encarnacion.
That's the one thing we're kind of wondering, like, what are they going to do next year? Because if they have, Burley's going to retire, they have an option on Dickey, which I don't know. A lot of people think they'll take it, but I don't think so for 12 mil.
Yeah.
We were looking at the free.
Depends what their other options are.
Yeah,
right?
we were looking at the free agent list, and it's
Estrada is a free agent. I would
Greinke's
like
a
to
free
see
agent,
him
Price.
resign. I mean, yeah, I don't know.
there's a lot of arms out there this year. There's not a lot of hitters and fielders, but a lot of pitching this year. So
It's too much watching, man. That's the one thing. Like, I was saying this last game, and then it ended up working in their favor. They got a few walks and got some big hits.
Yeah.
But this series, I just feel like they're. But it's the thing that got them to the dance.
Yeah.
Right. They're smart. They don't swing at nothing. They don't strike out. They get on base.
Yeah.
But at the same time, right now, like, get some hits, man. Get the ball in play. Start hacking
pretty
and
crazy.
stuff.
They have
What do you think about this? Like you've obviously been a Blue Jays fan for
quite a while.
What do
Yeah.
you think about this Blue Jays fever?
I'm okay with the support. I'm just, after they lose 3-1, you got people who've never watched games before the last 2 weeks making a status or commenting on it, and like that stuff drives me pretty wild. But I mean, if you're a full supporter, great. And it's, I don't know, it's cool to me. Before, it's just kind of, you have your 5 or 6 buddies that watch ball, cheer for the Blue Jays. But it's at the same time, like, if you have no knowledge of it, like, don't be criticizing the team or what people are doing, and especially if you don't know the sport, right? Like, it's.
You mean like all the idiots I had to deal with last night? At the Canucks game.
Oh, you were there?
Yeah.
Leaving early?
There's a minute 40 left. It's 3-2, and
Oh my God.
And the Canucks have pulled the goalie, and they got pressure, and people are getting up and leaving. So
People
started chirping all of them.
Pretty frustrating, hey?
Yeah.
They're too worried about traffic and getting home, and they don't just think
Oh, traffic was terrible.
they couldn't care less.
The whole strategy is getting on the SkyTrain, heading the other way, and then looping back around, because then you get a good seat. That's what we've always
I
done.
never
in
even
town.
thought about that.
Yeah, 'cause nobody's ever taken it down to waterfront there,
Mm-hmm.
so it's always a.
Oh,
And then you
okay.
jump on when it's empty
Yeah.
before it gets there.
Well, it just turns around, right?
You just
when
take
it
the
gets,
one.
There's still a
Yeah,
massive
because it goes to
get
about
in
2
there,
more
right?
stops
Yeah.
past stadium.
Okay.
So you just take the 5 minutes down, but you're getting a seat or whatever. Yeah, it's a huge filter even trying to get on there.
Yeah.
It's crazy coming across the street. But
That's what people are worried about. And it's like how often? Maybe these are people who go to every game and they just don't care. I don't know, but if you're not going to every game and it's like a once in a while thing, like why the fuck?
Why
are
would you
you?
leave
Well,
a couple
The
minutes
thing with
early?
sports is you
never know.
what can happen.
Yeah.
Right? Canucks could have scored 2 goals. There could have been a line brawl.
Yeah.
Like, you
I
could
was-
miss some cool stuff.
you
I
always
was
gotta
actually
stay for the
surprised
line
how
brawl.
full the stands still were in that 14-2 drubbing last 2 games ago for the Blue Jays. I was quite surprised.
I think a lot of people in that situation, though, you're paying a ton of money for
And it's
that
a day
ticket.
game too,
Yeah.
so you're not trying to get home, get to bed. Well, yeah, no, it's
No,
like-
because that would end it at like
I'm
7.
sure
7
like
or 8.
a massive amount of people are there just crushing beers
Oh,
too.
yeah.
So
Oh,
it's
yeah.
kind of like whatever, just
yeah.
hang out, see what happens.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can't imagine those. You see those the World Series Jays tickets sold out in 46 minutes.
They've already sold them.
They
yeah.
they put them on sale for the first 2 games,
Yeah,
and yeah.
just in case because they have home
Yeah,
field, right?
these people just get
If they
refunded
were to
if they
win.
don't make it. But yeah, 46 minutes, both games completely sold out.
Yeah,
I thought that was
That
pretty.
sounds really surprising though.
fuck. I just that's the thing about with Price is like, man, the kind of mental strength you have to be able to come to win this game.
Yeah,
Like, it doesn't matter how good you are. Like, all you keep hearing is you've lost 7 in a row.
Yeah.
You've lost.
Well, look at
7
a guy
in
like
row. You
Kershaw,
gotta
too,
win one.
right?
You got
Like,
lost
he,
7. At least he won his, right?
yeah.
He came through, but his was he'd only lost like 3 or 4, right? Wasn't that many
No.
for Kershaw.
No, and he usually only got knocked around by the Cardinals.
And add on top of that, he's supposed to be the guy. When we need a win, he's supposed to be the guy.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, he was for the most part in the year there. He pitched some pretty big games.
yeah.
Mhm.
He
Coming
was,
back
yeah,
for-
huge.
He didn't pitch bad last game. They just left him in too long.
Yeah.
Oh, how do you leave a guy in for 5 runs?
I know, right?
You know, like they
As
pulled, I
soon
think they
as
pulled him when there was 4 on
it
the board,
should've
but 2
been-
guys on.
As
Yeah.
soon as he gave up 2 runs, I thought he should have been out.
Yeah. I'd say that's fair. I would never like to see a guy give up 3 runs in an inning.
Yeah,
That's
that
kinda,
fucking changed the whole series.
I mean, if it's a bomb, whatever, but like, you know, when they're manufacturing runs like that, they're in the zone.
Then exactly, you
Change
know
it
they
up.
figured out
Yeah.
something, or he's just tired and they've got to him, right?
It's tough though, because then you have Gibbons' argument. Well, who do you come out of the pen that might be better than him getting out? But
yeah,
you know,
It's
if
true.
you're seeing the same guy,
That's the
it's-
thing,
yeah.
right? You get a new arm, a righty,
need them
right?
to see
It's
something different.
Something different coming in. I would have gone to Sanchez. Hockey's probably the best for giving stupid contracts for like 1 good year.
Oh yeah, big
and
time.
it drives me crazy. And I do like that Vancouver's been pretty good about not doing that.
Yeah.
Because like when
Matt Sundin, eh?
I loved when he
Messier.
came, but
That drove me wild.
Yeah.
like
I felt like they kind of picked guys up past their prime.
They
But like people would get kind of excited just because it was a name, though.
Yeah.
Well, the Jays did that for years.
well, I thought
too.
Sundin played all right here, but I'm saying like when Anson Carter wanted to get paid out of his ass and they
Yeah.
told him to beat it,
Yeah.
and then like what happened to him?
Nothing,
He sucked.
yeah,
He went to
exactly.
Russia and he had to retire.
Yeah. Well, that's it. You're playing with Sedins.
Yeah,
You're gonna
and
have a good year.
unfortunately
Yeah.
in his position, either he knows that this is his only chance to get paid because he knows he's really not much, and
Yeah.
he wants to he knows that hockey's not gonna, it's not his life.
Yeah.
He needs something for when he's older, or he gets like, he thinks he's better than he is, which I don't think is the case. I think he just sees the future and knows, look, I got to get paid now because I need to set myself up
Yeah.
for when
I
hockey's
understand
over.
the guy's got to get paid, but I mean,
It just also, the way I look at it is like, don't you want to like
do well.
do something special? Like, you play with the Sedins, you have this chemistry. Take a 1-year deal
Yeah.
at least. Take one more year.
I like 1-year deals personally.
Yeah,
Kinda.
I don't
It gives
mind
a guy a
them.
chance to
1-2 years, something like that.
show
I
their
don't mind.
worth or whatever.
Yeah,
That'd be like, I wouldn't be mad if they capped contracts at 5 years.
I would absolutely love
It
it.
would
Yeah,
be.
I
I just
think
think
they
I
should.
think,
I think they
guys are
absolutely
forced
should.
to work harder.
Because now, like, guys who don't deserve it are getting these long deals, and they do that now to
Protect
keep the cap
themselves.
and keep the cap hit down, right? But,
yeah.
Just stacking them back and then
Yeah.
trading guys after.
But it's like I don't know. There's just goofy deals.
Martin's on a pretty
But
decent
again,
backload there for
truthfully,
his
man,
Yeah.
we know nothing about running a fucking major.
Oh, not a clue with all those
franchise.
numbers.
I have no idea what the fuck's
I
going on.
manage a
behind
But,
pretty
the
I
scenes.
solid
mean-
fantasy baseball team.
Yeah.
to be honest.
I lost in the final.
That's
Heartbreak
exactly
this
the
year.
problem. Is these fantasy teams make people think they know what the fuck they're doing.
Hey, I manage my auction money.
Yeah.
No, but it is. Most of us have no clue how to run the money, but I mean, it's still the eye test of looking at it and being like, okay, this guy really isn't worth
Yeah.
this much money.
It's not
Yeah.
that hard as a fan. or
Yeah.
Just an onlooker saying that.
You're paying
right?
him
Like,
$7
it's-
million a year, and he scores, 12 goals.
A lot of the guys too. I mean, if there's a limited amount of players to sign that year in free
That's
agency,
why that spikes it up.
you're
Yeah.
gonna capitalize that. And like, I think that's something agents even look at when they're telling guys to re-sign. They'll look at when certain players, the list of guys that are
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
be. If like, there's nothing wrong if next year there's not a lot of free agents. Why not take that 1-year deal?
Yeah.
Have a great year,
Yeah.
and then
I'm
Yeah.
sure they're
Really
on it.
That was
capitalize
like
on
what
it.
Franson was trying to do, right? He was hoping to cash in
Ah.
this year, and then he didn't.
Did he sign anywhere?
Buffalo.
Buffalo.
He got a 4-year deal, but he got like $4 million a year or something. I was like, why didn't we sign him for that?
Yeah.
Yeah, they got 3-1. He's gonna watch. Nope. Go. Go.
Bye
Go.
bye.
Woo!
Oh, thank God.
That's
Very
good.
good.
Rattle Ventura.
Yeah.
He is easily rattled.
Well, how
Is he?
about like I was
Oh, he
pretty
threw it back.
threw it back.
That's funny.
Gotta
That's
love
actually
it.
kind of funny.
I love when people throw balls
yeah.
back. It's how about in that?
That's how Henry Rowan-Gardner
how
got
about-
signed.
How
Yeah.
about that in Game 5? Like people throwing beers on the field.
I know.
That's kind of.
We were
You
watching
know what,
that
though,
one
man?
and we were like, man, stop.
That's gonna.
Yeah.
It is stupid, but that's gonna happen anyway.
It is.
I guarantee it.
That's
And it's
people,
just drunk retards.
It is. And, then all of a sudden- and when they were like, oh, this is Toronto fans. No, everyone would have, given that what was going on in that game,
That was
every
mind-blowing,
team
man.
would have done that.
Yeah.
All the fans, drunk fans would have done that for sure.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to see a lot more heat between these two teams. After
So did I.
what happened
did I.
Nothing.
early in the year.
Well, I
but
think
then
they both realize they respect the talent on each
Well,
side.
that's it. And Gibbons said it best. I think in an interview, you got an ALCS to win.
Yeah.
You're not going to waste your time throwing at somebody.
Yeah.
getting a guy on, right? If that
Yeah.
costs you a run,
You're not
you're
going to be
losing.
putting guys on right now, right?
And I don't think either manager is the type that wants their guys to take that risk. That guy's saying, I like Ned Yost, man. I
He's a
like
good
the way
manager,
he talks.
yeah.
I like his mannerisms. Like, it just shows he's calm.
Yeah.
He's got control of his team.
It's a lot like Bruce Bochy.
Yeah.
in San
Bochy's
Francisco
good,
there,
yeah.
Oh.
It's pretty wild, the two wildcard teams in the NL, their records this year, hey?
Oh, it's
So
disgusting.
stupid. That's where
I keep seeing. I follow Keith Olbermann on Twitter, and he was just shredding baseball's playoffs for that. He's like, because the Mets, he's like the 5th best record in the NL, made the World Series now. I'm like, who cares?
Why does that matter?
Why does that matter at all?
Does the 5th best team in hockey not make the
Yeah,
Stanley
like,
Cup sometimes?
Good for them. If an 8th seed in the NHL, if they have the 16th best record in the playoffs and they can knock off all those teams, good for them.
Yeah.
You've earned it.
Yeah.
And baseball playoffs,
I'd like to see the first series be 7 games.
that would be. I wouldn't mind that either. But
Nice.
like the difference between the first ranked team in the playoffs in baseball and the last ranked teams is
Not huge.
it's nothing,
Yeah.
really.
It's a 162 game season, right?
Yeah.
You know, it's big. It's
I mean,
long.
you can make an argument for it, but that doesn't happen all the time. It was just bad luck this year that two teams with 95+ win seasons
that
had
sucks.
to play each other.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
sucks for them. But I mean,
Yeah, that's the way it is.
next year, I mean,
It
Who
happened.
knows?
It's happened in hockey where Chicago had to play
Vancouver.
whoever. Yeah, the two top teams in the first. No, but that was they were an 8th seed. What I'm talking
yeah,
about.
but they won the cup the year before.
True.
Oh, I just sorry,
What
that's
I'm
not what you're
saying
saying.
is when you have like two teams with unreal records, just because of the way it is, it happens.
Yeah,
The way
and
this-
now with that you play your division first in hockey, and that Central Division being just stacked, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Nashville and
That's
Chicago
what I'm
last
talking-
year,
exactly what I mean. Last year, Nashville, Chicago.
Yeah.
One of those teams is gone.
and St. Louis and
I kind of like their playoff setup and
I like
a
it
bit
too.
better.
I
Top
like it.
3
Yeah.
and then 2 wild cards.
Yeah.
and play within your division first.
Yeah.
It's like how they used to do it.
Well, that's going
can-
back to baseball with the Cubs and Pirates 3 years ago. One of those teams wouldn't even have made the playoffs.
Oh, exactly.
You know,
and
so
the,
it's-
and
rather see that.
and
in a wild
for all
card
we know,
game.
next year, I mean, who knows? The Cubs and Cardinals could be awful. The Cubs could just clean the division up. It varies year to year. You can't.
The Cardinals, I think, are one of the only teams that have been that strong for that
Oh,
long.
they're like
They're always
like
the
the Red
Detroit.
Wings.
Well,
kinda.
they're like the
There's-
Braves were for so
Yeah,
long,
it's
right?
always good.
You know,
Braves will probably come back to that too. Who knows?
Yeah, they're gonna need a few years.
they needed a rebuild there.
Man. I was just talking to Goose. Did you see that?
The command center.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck. That's crazy though, man. That's supposed to be like the worst storm ever in North American history. Like 320 km/h winds.
Where's that?
They're predicting
In Puerto
it's
Vallarta.
gonna like Puerto Vallarta,
Oh, he's in Mexico right now, or-
Yeah,
No,
it's
his-
just hitting like right now,
His
basically.
girlfriend's parents are.
They're down there, so they set up like this hurricane command center where all of these family members have come in to congregate, and it's like,
Imagine
what the
being
fuck
on
are you gonna
vacation.
do?
Yeah. Oh, that'd be
Just
the
pray?
craziest.
Sit around in a circle.
Well, when
What do you think of the resurgence of ARod this year?
I liked it.
Yeah, me too.
You liked it?
You hate
I
it?
did.
If he got hit by a bus, like I would.
Why? Why?
I hate him so
Oh.
much.
You know what? I kind of
I
I kinda go off and on with the guy.
I feel like
because he came back.
He
from
feels like
so
he's
much
above
shit.
the game, though.
Yeah, but whatever. That guy has so much fucking confidence. It's ridiculous.
It is
If you can
ridiculous.
come back after all of that, people hating you, and you still hit 40, almost 40 home runs, whatever it was
he had a
hit.
good year.
He did have a good year.
Incredible year.
You know what? I
don't want to see him be the home run leader. He's not far.
He's what 80, 90 off.
It's kind
Of
of
what?
Barry Bonds.
Is he?
Yeah.
He's only that far
He's
off?
probably like 660, 670, maybe 100 then. Look it up.
He's well over 6.
Oh yeah.
I think it's less than 100, but it's definitely whatever it was. It's potentially doable in 3-4 decent years.
3 or 4 20 home run years probably.
Yeah.
Will he play that long?
Why not? He's on contract for
He should just go sign it. Go
the rest
sign
of
in
his life.
Boston.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah,
knock
like
him over
Oakland,
the-
like Oakland's not ranked that hard. You got PNC, then Safeco. Wait, this can't be right.
Pittsburgh.
Is Safeco a big field?
It was. They brought the fence in a bit. It's not the best for hitting.
I think just humidity,
Yeah.
heavy air right off the water there.
But I was gonna say, with ARod, like
never
I
mind.
like the guy, and then I hate the guy.
These are the hardest
I think
parts
he's-
to hit in.
I think. I don't know. What's your stance with the whole PEDs? Because I could care less.
could care less.
I'm so tired of it.
When it's like blatant use, I mean, they've kind of come in and implemented and got it out of the
Well,
game
now
for the
you
most
can't
part.
get away with it at all now.
Well, the biggest, there's guys using, what was Chris Davis just approved there for?
Oh, Adderall.
Adderall.
That's for, 'cause
So-
he has ADD.
But there's 113, I think I looked it up, there's 113 or 115 guys in the league approved for it.
Yeah.
And, if Chris Davis is going out hitting 210 bombs
And then
because he has ADHD, and then he,
Yeah.
when he can go to the plate not thinking about whether he left his dryer on. He can focus on the game and play. Like, I'm okay with guys doing that, but I'm
Okay,
curious.
so-
I've never actually looked up an actual PD banned list.
I
Because I
don't
know
know.
what Stroman got banned for like fat burners or something.
Oh, that was him.
Yeah,
Right.
Stroman got 50-game suspension
what?
for the Vancouver
That's
Canadiens.
right. That was him.
When he got drafted.
Man, there's always something. Like, I guarantee you, I don't care. You say the game's clean. They're taking
no.
something that they don't know about yet.
Yeah, yeah.
They're,
They do.
they're always ahead of the
'Cause
game.
I work with this guy who does drug testing. He goes down to spring training always, and he does the testing.
Yeah.
And he got to go do the Dodgers series right now, and he might get to go do the World Series.
Crazy, eh?
Yeah. So I'm like, bring me with you, but so he says, like, they're on top after every game. They're piss testing 3 or 4 guys, and they're doing it every game. But he's like, we're up as much as we can, but the cheaters are always they always find something
Yeah.
that it takes them a while to
Catch up to.
be able to detect.
That's the
yeah.
thing. You got doctors and people making supplements that
Yeah.
probably love the game, want to make their money off it, and if they know they can trick a drug test,
Yeah, definitely.
it's crazy,
But-
right?
Yeah,
I don't
the
know,
benefits far outweigh the negatives. By far.
honestly,
Think
I
about it
just-
for a guy like Milky, whose career
Yeah.
was sort of diminishing. He takes his suspension, he puts on his size, and he came back and signed a huge contract and had,
Yeah.
I know.
had good years.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
now he's a
Braun,
pretty
same
respected
thing.
player.
That's what I said,
he
like,
didn't really
Well,
put on time,
Braun
but
was really good though.
Yeah.
He's almost diminished a little.
Yeah.
now.
He's still good, but he
Yeah.
was But
No, but he signed a massive contract because of that.
Oh yeah.
That's what I mean. Is you get paid.
That's what I was wondering
Yeah,
if
but-
they'd ever void a contract because of a guy
Yeah.
who was.
I don't know if they can. It would have to be in the contract. There'd have to be a stipulation.
that's
for
true,
it.
and they would never have that probably.
They would never put that in a contract, no. But again, under suspension, you're not getting paid.
True.
So
But like during that whole, not late '90s or whatever, like
It was in
why
the-
would you not Why would you not do it if you're a 220 hitter who hits 10 home runs?
yeah,
And you see your couple guys in you're Mark McGuire's teammate, right?
Yeah.
You're like, this guy's fucking parking it.
yeah.
Why wouldn't you do it? All of a sudden, your flyouts or your doubles turn into home runs,
The following
and you're
of
getting paid.
the home run following those years, it was wild.
it was on.
It was all
Brady
over
Anderson,
the news. It was in
yeah.
newspapers.
You got guys like Brady Anderson who hits 17 home runs or whatever, and the next year he hits 50 from the leadoff spot in Baltimore. That's absurd.
So
But why wouldn't you do it?
Why wouldn't you?
You're gonna-
That's what There was a couple guys we played with.
You don't know how long you can play in the major leagues for.
No, absolutely
right?
not,
You
yeah.
take your chance. If people aren't getting punished for it, who cares?
yeah.
I would.
I completely agree.
I don't.
Whatever. There's a difference between. There's a major difference between PEDs in something like baseball. I mean, even if you compared it to the NFL, like you're not hitting guys, you're not hurting people, right?
Capitalizing.
Fuck.
For Revere doing flying out.
Donaldson now. Yeah, what is Revere doing flying
Put
out?
one on the ground.
Fuck.
Yeah, it would have been nice if they should have got a bunt down.
Yeah, I
That
don't.
would have been
I think
a run.
they tried there.
I know.
Like
Almost should have even tried to bunt Goins with 2 strikes. Fuck, he's not even that good of a hitter.
What a pickup
give
this has been, hey?
But like I was,
Donaldson.
if
Wild.
when you look at like the UFC or the NFL or anything like that, yeah, PEDs you can make a case for. And then even further than that, really the UFC is the only one where you're fucking beating people up and you can actually damage someone
From being too strong.
too quick, able to land shots that you wouldn't be able to land. But when you like baseball, what does it hurt? All it does is make the game a little more exciting.
Yeah.
More home
More
runs.
home runs.
Pitchers can pitch, so maybe not though, because if pitchers are on it too, fuck, man.
Get a good piece. What do? Unfortunate.
Fuck, 2 on with no outs and they get nothing. That's huge.
Jose will park another one here.
That's huge for Kansas City.
That's a big one.
Because I don't think they're going to face that part of the lineup again with him.
No. Oh, it looked like Hoshivar was warming up.
Yeah. Who's Hoshivar?
Hoshivar.
Other bullpen guys.
Yeah.
So we've been going back and forth a lot on Facebook with, more just kind of watching each other's comments on Facebook regarding the election. What did you think of what happened?
I
know you didn't vote.
I didn't vote.
Which was part of the...
Which is part of the problem, I know. But in all fairness to my defense, I couldn't get on board with something enough to really lay an opinion in there. I was very opinionated about a lot of the things happening.
Mm-hmm.
But, you see a conservative government in with certain people and families thriving. And, a lot of the guys I work with in Alberta, they work hard. And there's obviously benefits to that for people with good educations. They go out and do this. But at the same time, there's lots of good things the Liberals can come around and do. And there obviously was a lot of Harper neglect with a lot of things. And people were absolutely outraged.
Yeah.
But I was still kind of blown away on like the east-west country divide.
Yeah.
For how many people, like I said, it's very different. If I was in BC all the time, I'm curious how I would have felt about it. But because I'm out there, and you probably saw like on the map of the voting, like Alberta, Saskatchewan, just so heavily dominated with a conservative vote, and then everybody out east liberal. And I was surprised not to see more NDP in the area, but I think a lot of people grasped onto whatever it took to get Harper gone.
That was the part that annoyed me the most, and those were always the statuses and the things I jumped in on because, and this is coming from someone who wasn't really a huge Harper fan, even though I'm aware that he did pretty damn well for our economy in a recession, right?
Yeah.
But talking to like Jimmy, who was on a few weeks ago, what seemed to happen, or was this you that was telling me this? What happened? Why the NDP got voted in Alberta? It was one of you two I was talking to.
There was. That's the thing.
Was
nobody actually thought the NDP would get voted in, so people weren't really voting. And a lot of the people that would have been voting the Wild Rose Party and Conservative Party were pretty split.
Yeah.
And the NDP just kind of snuck through because the people that wanted that so badly obviously made sure they were there voting. And a lot of people are away at work. And, if you're out at a camp job and you get your 3 hours, well, you're not going to fly back to your riding for the vote. Yeah. So if they don't have any pre-voting, as they did for this kind of election too, it kind of halters a lot of people from even being able to get in there.
Yeah.
But, I mean, not one NDP party won in this federal vote in Alberta. So that's kind of...
That shows you exactly what really should have happened there, right?
Yeah, I think they said it was 60-something% of a turnout, which is nothing. And you have everybody in the cities who are local hospitals, education, a lot of public service workers, right?
Yeah.
So those people were sure to get in. And
when I looked at the policies, I basically looked at what their platforms were, and I said, okay, to me, there's not a lot of difference between the Conservatives and the Liberals. And I just was like,
some
things...
Some people call it conservative light.
Yeah.
And
I was like, I think I'm going to go, a new face would be nice. Let's see what happens, right? So I voted for Justin. But there's still a part of me that's like, fuck, I don't know if he's ready, man. I really don't. I think that's exactly what happened. The Liberals picked the perfect guy for this situation.
They did. It was kind of more of a front man thing.
They picked this fresh face.
It seems like it.
Young
a lot
guy
of people
with history. His family's got history, and there was, like you said, so many people who were anti-conservative or just anti-Harper for whatever the fucking reasons are. He's not...
Because it was the popular thing to do.
Yeah. And he just wasn't relatable.
Yeah.
Right? And to be honest, He doesn't need to be.
Yeah.
Right? And this is something I'm just
Well,
kind of
it's not
realizing
his.
now.
It's not
is
his job to be a celebrity.
No, it's his job to
And
run a
that's what they're.
country.
That's what they're doing with Trudeau. Is they're.
But I do like what happened because it shows that when a country really wants something,
They'll get it.
they can make it happen. And that's what I like about this election.
Yeah.
I'm not jumping on board like all these people thinking he's going to be the savior of.
No,
even though I don't think
if
we
people-
need a savior.
What needs to be saved?
Exactly.
Really? Like
Yeah.
People just don't like the economical or the.
the budget. I know a lot of people don't like
the-
that he wants to continue running a deficit,
Yeah.
but. I don't,
How does
I
that
mean, I don't
really
know-
affect
I don't-
us on
yeah,
a day to
really,
day?
I don't really know enough
you know,
about that. I mean, are we going to
It's,
turn
a
into
lot
Greece?
of it has
No,
to
we're
do
not.
with the like all the environmental things going on right now. That has a lot to do with it, right?
Yeah, a
all
lot
the
of people don't like
pipelines
what
and
Harper's
this
done
and
with that.
and you know, even though to be honest, a lot of it we're going to
guys
need
are
if we
hammered,
want to
hey?
keep our economy going
What's that?
up.
These guys are hammered.
Oh yeah.
Screaming at Colabello there.
Oh, just.
Sorry about it. It's too low time.
Yeah, no, I hear what you're saying though.
He hit one off him last time, didn't he?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, if that's what everybody wants, then so be it.
Yeah.
But it almost seemed.
Well,
you know,
it just seemed it was Harper's time to go. So
He was in for 10 years, man.
Yeah.
That's
And
a
you
long
know what?
time. And like
that's
they're
a
saying,
long time.
Trudeau
yeah.
gets 4 years and see what happens. I don't know how he can't do that much damage. I don't think in 4 years.
he couldn't. No, and you know what? If it's going to get people more excited to be Canadian, and
Yeah.
for all the social assistance programs, like I saw
Nope.
one of those what you can expect to see.
Yeah.
How we talked about taxes and tax-free savings, and you know one of the other things in there that they're talking about doing is easing the rules on withdrawing your RSPs,
That's not a bad idea.
which necessarily,
Yeah.
you can,
it
you know,
could be bad though too, right? If all of a sudden everyone starts withdrawing their RSPs.
Yeah, well, that's on them then. For
yeah, fair enough.
right, that's a personal decision.
people's-
you can't
people's
get mad
savings.
at Justin Trudeau because he's going to allow you to
buy
Yeah.
a second house, with
yeah,
your
or take your
RSPs,
money
you know,
out. Like
that's-
you still have to be responsible. Oh, he's going to let me have all my
And it's
RSPs.
not
I'm
like-
going to buy
yeah.
3 houses. that
I
can't
would have
afford.
much rather. I didn't think it was going to be this much of a landslide though. Like I was expecting a minority government.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We,
so was
you
I.
know what? That was the biggest thing. It was pretty shocking to see they got a majority
They were crushing. They were at like
Well, when
40
we flipped
seats
it on,
to
it was like
nothing or
33
something.
nothing.
coming from the east.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're like, whoa.
But
fuck.
yeah, and that was the other thing you alluded to was that all these people over here thinking like we made this happen.
It was over
on
before-
Facebook. It was already over.
It
Before
was
it even
over
got
before
here.
our polls were closed.
Yeah,
So apparently that's going to be looked at.
And
too.
even BC was pretty wildly split.
yeah.
but I'm sorry, but that's still. I don't think anything needs to change because you're giving every person a vote. Do you want to put it into the way the states is run and complicate it even more? No, everybody gets their vote. You have ridings based on population.
What do they want to change now?
Well, because it was something like 900 and X amount of votes were basically wasted. They figured because the whole I don't know how the whole voting I don't know how that all works, but
Just because the ridings?
I guess and like I can't explain it. I'm not gonna pretend to. So people are complaining that it's flawed because X amount of votes were wasted. So
Like, why does he have to be your 9 guy?
yeah, no,
He's a closer.
If he can close out
Yeah,
an
no,
inning
it's
for you
stupid.
when you need it, closed out, put him in.
It's
man.
stupid.
Same with, to me, Osuna or Sanchez. When you need them, put them in.
Yeah, exactly. That's the very popular like narrative these days, especially when I listen to like my ESPN podcast.
Nice.
trying to get to the
Well, they're like, why does he only have to pitch in a save situation? Like,
Yeah.
no, it look.
Some
if,
teams
if you
are-
need a pitcher and you're
He's your
down
guy.
one, you're up one. Up one would be a save, but you know what I mean, right? Like,
Yeah.
no, pitch him. If it's the 7th inning and he's your best option right now, throw him.
Yeah.
You can't just be like, oh, we might get a save.
It's just tough because that's the guy you want in the save situation.
I know,
And if you
I
burn,
get that.
burn his arm out, right?
Yeah.
But, yeah, that's where bullpens change a game, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
I think it's...
Like you're telling me if they get to this 8th inning or 7th inning here, like, and why wouldn't you use Wade Davis?
Yeah.
Like, you're telling me Wade Davis can't pitch 3 innings?
Well, we wouldn't be pitching tomorrow. That'd be the one thing, right?
That yeah, he'd be burned. But
But he is lights out.
I know that's the
man.
thing, right? He's so good.
Yeah.
He's
Pretty
like
crazy.
throwing Chapman for 3 innings or something.
Yeah, you got a guy coming like that from, couldn't necessarily make it as a starter.
Yeah,
I mean,
and how he's just
just lights out in the
Just
pen
a
for an
filthy
innings.
closer.
I think you're
He
gonna.
wasn't even the closer till Holland got.
I feel like you'll start seeing that. Like, there's been such a growth in young pitchers coming up
Yeah.
in recent years. I feel you're seeing a ton more guys than it has been. But
And I agree. And as soon as they're really not wasting time now. Oh boys, they got it.
he still caught it.
Yeah. Like, if a starter's not pitching well, like, they'll just throw him to the bullpen.
Yeah, they gotta call each other off, man.
Elbow.
What the hell is that?
That's who Donaldson should do that.
Pardon?
It's Donaldson's ball.
Yeah,
If he's coming off the catcher.
but he didn't call him off.
I don't know.
That's what I mean. You gotta actually call the guy off. Yeah. Haven't they learned since the Goins play?
Still happens.
Oh.
It's wild. Getting antsy, starting to get the palms sweaty here.
Yeah.
You know?
It's at
Regardless
that
of
point,
what happens, though, like, pretty incredible year for them. You know, win the pennant and
they finally pulled it together, right? I mean, they've had pretty good talent the last couple of years. They just couldn't, and that's what they said, right? You bring Donaldson and Martin in, and they completely changed.
well, you gotta even. I mean, they were
makeup.
under 500 at the break. You know, and that's
But their pitching had been suspect.
true.
So suspect.
Trying
and then
to sort that
switched
out.
Strom or Cecil. Just before that, brought in Estrada. He finally got hot. Dickey started getting hot.
Yeah.
That changed everything, right?
Everything for
they were
sure.
still hitting, and then they
That's
get
the thing,
Tulo and
they
Revere
were
who
hitting
are getting
so
on
much.
Or Revere who's getting that lead off, right?
Yeah.
That's the other thing we were talking about. The RBIs that he was getting for Donaldson, but really Revere didn't come in till the end of July.
And he didn't even. I mean, he wasn't hitting that well at the
Revere?
very start when he first got here. He took a little bit to adjust.
Yeah, it took him a couple weeks, but then he was basically almost automatically getting on base
Yeah. Yeah, he was on fire there for the last stretch.
because he brought his average from something like 260 something 270 low, and then he was over 300 by the end of the year at some point. I don't know what he ended with, but so annoying. I need to get cable again. So fucking expensive though.
Is it
I pay $93 a month plus taxes
for your internet?
and fees.
Just for your internet?
But I have 450 gigs, and it's like the highest speed. So I'm gonna change that. Probably add
for the
cable
stuff you
for a
use,
bit.
though, right? I mean,
That's the
it's
thing. But
pretty-
even still, man, it's still shitty.
yeah,
It's still cutting in and out, right? That's bullshit. I talked to them today. I don't understand it. My girlfriend's phone's Wi-Fi cuts in and out all the time. I don't know. Like, apparently, though, as far as like internet speeds, North America is like the worst in the world because it's so big and because we've had it for so long.
A new sort of internet. I feel like I just saw something recently on a news article that they were trying to get the world's fastest internet.
I don't know.
Like places like South Korea have better speeds than
they
we
do.
do. They're running like in the
Fucking Asians.
hundreds just for a normal house.
They're way better at this stuff.
It's not that though.
Yes,
It's
it is.
because they're a smaller country, more condensed areas, and they can run the fibers a
Yeah.
lot easier and a lot cheaper. That's the problem here. Is we're so big.
Efficiency.
Yeah. And that's fuck. He's tight.
Let's see Russell Parkman here, eh?
That's the like your speed is only as good as how far it comes into to the last point of contact. And fiber, even around here, only goes to like the pole. If you're lucky, it might come to the main part of the building. The thing that I hate about everybody, like, I mean, I get it. Everybody wants to feel excited about something, and that's the thing with social media is it builds that excitement so fast. But he hasn't done anything yet, and I'm sorry if you think he's not going to put in these pipelines if the money's right, and he doesn't get some extra back pocketed. He's no different than anybody else.
No, I don't feel like he's special, and you're exactly what you're saying. Is if it's there, they're gonna do it. Like if it's the right decision for the economy, you know, they've put so much money into that already, as well, and that's one of the.
I'm quite surprised, and I'm actually kind of disappointed that Harper stepped down. Like,
Well,
I
look,
mean, he
look
might.
at
I guess
Christy
he,
Clark takes over.
Yeah.
You'll never see,
There's no way.
Well, that's what they're talking about is her
She's
sliding
an
in
idiot.
as the conservative leader.
I'm sorry, but she's an idiot.
She's a bit of an
she's
idiot.
bad,
She's
yeah.
not very.
You
smart
won't
at
see a
all.
conservative win an election for a long
The
time.
way she
I don't know.
treats the education system is a joke.
Yeah. I think that's also part of like what hurt people in BC for a conservative vote too. Was
Christy Clark.
Christy Clark.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's a terrible premier.
She just didn't. Yeah, I don't think she's done that good of a job at all. To be honest, I mean, I think she made herself look stupid multiple occasions with tweets that she put out and things. Like, I get it; it's easy to say something and it comes off stupid, but you got to be a little bit smarter about the kind of stuff you're talking about,
Yeah.
right?
Well, you think they have some sort of help writing or any sort of publicity, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's not like she's just having a bottle of wine sitting in bed being like,
I'm gonna tweet this.
yeah. You never know, though. She could be. Maybe part of the problem.
Yeah. I'm pretty happy though that with all the noise about NDP that they
Didn't get
did
in.
way worse.
They weren't gonna get it.
But
Yeah.
they did so bad.
You know what? I
Worst
honestly
seats
think
they've had in years.
if there wouldn't have been so much Stop Harper rage,
Mhm.
I think you would have seen a lot more NDP.
Yeah.
But like we said, I think everyone just went liberal because it was
fresh face.
it was the
just
only
Trudeau,
chance to get.
Yeah. A
Harper
lot of
out.
people, I think, blindly voted for Trudeau. I do.
Oh yeah, absolutely. People make blind votes all the time.
Yeah.
They find one thing they like.
I also just think Harper ran a bad campaign. He ran a really bad campaign.
Well,
People wanted
They
him
did a
out,
good
but
job
he
at
ran
making him look bad.
terrible.
Let's talk again
They did, but
tomorrow.
he did a good job of making himself look bad. He
Yeah.
focused on the wrong things. His attack ads just pissed people off.
Yeah.
And again, just made you jump on the Trudeau side because he's making fun of his hair and shit. Like, come
Those
on,
were
man.
brutal.
So brutal.
Those were brutal.
The ads
He's
he
not
had that
ready
came
yet.
out right before the election were actually, I thought, very good and seemed genuine. He's right. Like the ones where he's just saying, like, it's not a popularity contest. This isn't about me. That's the kind of shit he should have been saying from the beginning.
Yeah.
I know I'm not, like, just be honest.
It was
I
a
know
little-
I'm not relatable.
It was a little too late.
But I'm trying to run a country here.
Yeah. Well, like, do you see Trudeau sitting down in a room with
Putin.
and Obama and Kim Jong Un? Like,
Sweating. He's
Give
going to
me a-
have clammy hands,
give me a break.
man.
Did you see his charity boxing match? there?
Yeah, I did.
I didn't see that.
The shiny pony.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He did all right.
He did all right. You know, he
A lot tougher than I would have expected. He took a lot of shots.
He
Man.
did.
That guy was all over him, but he had so much muscle mass.
Yeah.
He got tired so
He did.
fast.
It was pretty funny.
Lanky
I like the
Trudeau
commentator
hung in there.
there. They were just down him so hard.
Yeah.
Just in the shiny pony Trudeau, and as he's
That's a
walking
good
out,
nickname.
all those dance lessons, all those ballet lessons. Had a good laugh for sure, but yeah, I don't know. I just like sure if it's the one thing to get everybody in the country loving your country and on board, like that's great.
Yeah.
But there is still a huge divide. Not a lot of people are going to get what they want,
Mm-hmm.
which is slightly a problem, you know. But I just have a hard time looking at him and, you know, that's your leader, right?
Yeah. What the fuck? Why is the sound not working?
Way to go.
Yeah,
You off. Do you have it off on your...
No, it's only.
There you go.
But this is like I was talking about this last week. The thing I hate about it is that we're in this time now where there's so much social media, there's so much out about the candidates.
Mm-hmm.
That why are we trying to hide shit anymore? Why are they trying to put on this face of what they want people to see? Why can't, like, to me, sit down for 3 hours, have an open conversation about what you want, what you think, where you think the country should go, instead of these fucking debates and these interviews where they pick the questions and they know what they're kind of
They're going to
answers.
say,
like,
scripted almost.
yeah,
right?
like.
It doesn't really get to the bottom of
Unfortunately,
anything anybody wants to
People
hear.
don't want to hear the bad shit, right? They don't want to hear all of the things that are wrong with our country or what we might have to do. The tough things that people have to say. Even this Niqab shit, whatever the fuck it is.
Niqab? I think
Even that shit, like, be able to have an open conversation about why you think it should should or shouldn't be allowed.
Did
you
you
know?
see? I saw it the other night on Late Night. Do you ever watch Late Night with John Oliver?
The odd time.
I watch it on YouTube.
I see
quite
it
a
once in
bit.
a while. Did you see the Stop Harper thing he did?
No, I haven't seen a
fuck,
recent
it was
one.
good.
He's funny.
He is funny. He's like really smart funny. So he did this thing where
Very.
he was
educated.
going off before
He's no Jon Stewart though.
No.
man. Jon Stewart.
But he was
way
going off
better.
before about like the election and stuff before it had happened. I think this aired the Sunday night before the election, and then he started reading the rules that he's like, I can't tell you not to vote for Harper because I guess Canada has a rule that says if you do not live in Canada, you cannot influence for people who to vote for.
You probably can't do that for any.
And so it was it was either a $5,000 fine or some jail
Yeah.
time. And so then he just went on this little skit, and he's like, I'm going to tell you what to do in the most Canadian way possible. And he had like a Mountie and a moose, and then Mike Myers came in driving a snowplow, and he had a stack of $5,000 in Canadian money, and he went on this big rant. And then Mike Myers was like, don't vote for Harper. And then John Oliver was like, Stephen Harper doesn't like black people. And then Mike Myers was like, oh no, not again. And then he's like, oh wait a minute, he doesn't like Muslims. And then Mike Myers was like, actually that's accurate. And then he started making the money rain. He's like, don't vote for Harper. You should watch it. It was actually
That's a
pretty
little
funny.
ridiculous though.
It was funny.
Doesn't like Muslims. Come on. He's thinking about it in like a security sense, and again, you're not running the country.
Yeah.
You don't understand what all the risks are, what really goes on.
I think
Like,
it's a little
they're-
too unnecessary.
There are real wars happening
Yeah,
right
but what
now.
I didn't-
There are.
You know,
what I
like
didn't
we're sitting here
realize-
having a beer and a chew
I
and
know.
watching the game, and if we flick to CNN, like,
Oh yeah.
someone just got bombed today.
Yeah. What I didn't realize about it is that I think behind closed doors they already know that the person is who they are. This is just like a ceremony, just whatever. It doesn't really mean anything. So in that sense, then yeah, whatever they want to wear it. It's to me, it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
But you also got to think like it is a custom that we have, and I guarantee you, if you went over there and
got-
tried to change their custom,
Well,
That's
if you
the
went-
worst thing I think
fly.
of. Like, if I went
if you went to
to any
Qatar,
one of those Middle East countries,
Yeah.
and I sat out on the couch and was like, "Hey boys, where's the strip club?"
Yeah.
Started cracking beers and throwing
exactly,
in a
you
chew,
can't drink in some of those countries, right?
Yeah.
So
You
what,
crack a beer. You
what
don't-
does it mean? I could go there and tell their government I'm allowed to drink
Yeah.
because I'm Canadian?
yeah,
Like, I know it's it's different, it's religion,
Yeah, but
so be it. But at the same time, like, it's hard to talk about
It's a
this
very-
without sounding racist.
it
Yeah,
is.
and
It's
that's
true.
the
It's a
problem.
very, very
That's a problem
fine
because
line,
it's
right?
like, there are a lot of people that are very racist against it, but I think at the same time, like, I don't think it's rude to ask somebody to, if they want to be in Canada, be Canadian.
Yeah.
You know, and I just,
Well, I mean,
personally
we've
would
always
never.
been kind of the anti-U.S. in that sense, though, where we're not. We
As
don't
hard.
you don't
Yes.
have to assimilate, right?
Yeah.
But
There, no,
I don't know. There's certain things you kind of have to stick
Yes.
to your guns on.
Yeah.
I mean, all they were doing is asking just for a citizenship ceremony, right? And then
Yeah.
you were more than welcome to wear it all the time again. So, yeah, it is really hard. But you got to, you have
Was
to.
it for the ceremony or for your picture?
I think, yeah, probably your picture.
Like,
But-
is that out of a question?
Yeah.
Like, we can't wear a hat.
No.
You can't
know,
smile in a driver.
But again, like I
Don't,
said,
don't
it's-
you need
it's
your
the
face
picture,
to be
but it's-
identified?
This is
in
just
a picture.
from what I read, though. It's not. They already have confirmed that the person is who they say they are. This is just like something they do in front of the. I don't even know exactly who they're in front
I
of.
think
But
it
it's
was
just a ceremony.
It was for like driver's licenses, though. But,
yeah.
Like, how does that not make sense?
Yeah, you gotta show your face for a driver's license.
if it's
man.
identification,
Shit.
Uh-oh. He caught it.
Yeah!
Wild.
Oh,
he dropped
was,
it.
He was there anyways.
Pick it up. Oh, you fucking.
What a time for the internet, eh?
He doesn't even have the ball, and he's still holding his glove up.
I think he was safe anyways.
Looked like it.
What a catch,
Yeah.
Wow.
Benny.
Very Polar-esque.
Jesus.
Ooh.
Good
Well,
for him, hey? Looks like it almost bounced out.
Yeah.
I'd be standing back there. Got it.
I'll get fired up.
Fuck off.
If he wasn't here, it'd be Colabello out there.
Oh.
But there's this thing right now where whatever the social issue is, and I've done it, people just jump on it. They just want to be that person. They want people to see them as like, I'm for the cause, right? And I've done it, but I've also changed my tone very quickly sometimes when you get more information.
And you know what?
And you learn. That's what I like about these podcasts and any type of conversation is even though you might disagree with someone off the bat, later on you're thinking about it and you're like, well, you know what, he kind of had a point there.
People form an opinion before they get educated
and the thing with
about
that,
it, and that's the biggest.
And the thing with that situation is, you know, that ignorant group of people out there who see every Muslim as a terrorist. Yeah. That's all they see when they're seeing that, right?
You know, like out in Alberta they're like trying to burn down some of the churches.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm not sure what their religious gathering place is called, but
temple, whatever.
Yeah, they're vandalizing them, and it's, you know, it's not every.
No, it's not.
You know,
man.
It's ignorant.
Well, I play ball hockey with lots of guys who are Muslims. Okay,
they're good guys.
They're good guys.
Yeah.
Yes, there's. Not everybody is a fucking terrorist. Like, those people who do that shit are crazy fucks.
Yeah.
But you know what? And you're seeing just as many white people do shit like
exactly.
that.
Exactly.
Yes and no.
Like tomorrow,
when you look at religion, I'm sorry, but it's really
it's not Muslim. Acts of Christian warfare.
It's Islam that has that issue.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, everybody gets lumped together.
That is a little more religious. Yes, that is. They're a little more crazier.
But that's the thing, is you're not allowed to criticize them. They're the only religion, for some reason, that you're not allowed to criticize. Christians get criticized all the time for their views and their stupidity.
Like annoying,
but they're not killing people.
Someone came to our door today.
Exactly.
I was in the towel and I was.
It's like they're either protesting this game or tomorrow. That Western Baptist. I don't know if you read that article.
Yeah, I seen that.
The Western Baptist Church or whatever. Those crazy fucks in the States. They're banned from everything, and they go and they protest. Like soldiers' funerals, gay people's like marriages, and gay people's funerals and stuff. They're like pure hate monger, and they're like, you know, if you aren't just a crazy ass like whatever white person, like they're an embarrassment.
Could you just like, how does somebody ever?
How do you get into that? Right?
How do you get that train of
thought? It's just
the
way you're raised.
It is the way you're raised,
man.
Really.
It's crazy. Some people are just looking for a team. Right? We want to be on a team. Everybody does.
Yeah, but
we have hockey, we have sports. For some people, their team
is religion.
Is their religious their religious following.
Yeah, but there's like, fine if you want to believe in religion and stuff, but like that is a little crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, I
what's wrong with just the normal church religion stuff, blah blah blah, like you don't need to go protest soldiers' funerals.
But if you believe, that's a little off.
You may or may not agree with like what we're at war with or whatever like that, but I don't know, like soldiers are risking their lives whether or not they believe it in it or not. They're still going. They're risking their lives and blah blah blah, and like who would ever have, you know, the balls to go and protest and protest it, especially the funerals.
Yeah.
You can protest the war, fine, but
a funeral,
like the guy died so you can protest, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's like anything. I got into this on another post about Grange posted it about some, or it might have been Laura Williams or Laura Thomas now. Those like college confessional things that people post or whatever. Yeah. And there was one about this kid went out to his car to smoke some weed just to take a break from studying, relax, go back in. And the cops seen him in there and harassed him and then took him to the door, woke up his parents, grandparents, and like, you know, were basically wanted to make sure he wasn't causing trouble and all this. And there was so many ignorant comments regarding like being in your car, smoking weed, and you're causing trouble and you're disrupting the, like, and it was like, and I'm just sitting there like, yeah, I understand your, and they made some good points about what if the kid's in his car and he's going to take off and drive. Well, yeah, fair enough. But when the kid gets out and says, this is what I'm doing, here's my license, I live right here.
Yeah.
Common sense, man. Let the kid go. He's not hurting anybody. Why do you gotta, I don't know. It's just power tripping to me.
I think some cops you're going to see that more excessive. On the last time, before I moved back home, I drove back. I had 10 days off, and I came around a corner in Merritt, and I'm 12 hours into a drive. I was wearing a cut-off shirt and seatbelt. It was bugging my shoulder, so I had it behind my neck. I'm going the speed limit, and I'm driving down, come around the corner, and This lady cop like jumps on the road in front of my truck.
They
like,
love doing that.
hammer my brake. And I was like, holy, I looked down, I'm like, I'm going 120, like, what's the problem here, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And then she walks up, and I'm like, what the hell is this all about? And she just like, you're not wearing your seat. And she like sees it on, and I was like, sorry, what? She's like, you're not wearing your seatbelt properly. And I was like, come on, you know? Give me a break here. And she had to go back to the radio and call in. Whoever she called told them to still give you a ticket, but you're saying with people on power trips.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of people getting hired these days to be police officers are necessarily like sometimes people that kind of want that ability.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. But I took more issue in that thread with the ignorance toward drugs and the ignorance towards like, and I even said, I was like, so what you like, she's like, the guy's on drugs and doing drugs in the neighborhood and blah, blah, blah. I'm like,
That's
so what, you've never been on painkillers or antibiotics or anything? Because those are drugs too, right?
Yeah.
And like to these, like literally though, to these people, it's not the same thing.
Yeah.
When in reality, what's safer for you? Smoking a little weed or fucking Oxycontins?
Yeah.
100% Oxycontin.
it's like
That's I don't know. What do you feel about Trudeau wanting to legalize? Did he want to decriminalize?
He
Or?
wants to
think
legalize
it's-
it.
He wanted to legalize. I think it'll start with decriminalization, and you're not just going to jump to legalizing it.
I think they are.
You think so?
Yeah, he said he wants to build like dispensaries in every city and legalize it, and then.
And people think it's going to make it easier for kids to get weed.
That's what I've been reading on
Retarded
Facebook.
fucking mentality.
That is what I've been reading on Facebook. Some of the
Kids can't go to a
comments-
liquor store and just
That's
grab
the
weed.
thing, right?
Exactly.
Kids have an easier time getting weed from a drug dealer at school
Yeah.
than they would standing
takes-
outside and being like, hey, mister,
Yeah.
grab me an ounce. It's
And
like,
and
It takes
not that bad.
It takes 2 seconds at school to find the one or whatever kid who's selling weed. Like that was what pissed me off in those comments. Is I actually found there was a lot that people like from a thread on Facebook about legalizing pot. There was a lot of positivity. People were like, "This is great. It's going to bring lots of tax money. It'll help get rid of."
Look
But
at
you
Paul-
also got to think at who posts it and who the person's
Yeah, no,
friends
but I was
are
just
and
saying like.
the following.
Like there was lots of people who were like, "This is great. It's going to bring in tax money. It's going to help weed out some of the crime." And and blah blah blah, and regulate it and stuff like that. And then people are like, "Oh, it's going to be so easy for the kids to get. It's going to be in stores." And exactly right. You can think about when you up until you're 19, unless you had like a solid guy to buy you booze,
Yeah.
it was a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
And it's going to be the same thing. And kids will find whatever they want anyways.
yeah.
Uh-oh.
That's a rush.
Shit. Damn it.
Rios.
Uh-oh.
Had to be Rios.
3-1. There's still lots of time with their closers, though. Fuck. They're 8-9. Like, I don't know, man. It's going to be interesting.
It's going to be a tough one now.
And it's going to be interesting to see, like, how this whole, once Trudeau gets in, how it's going to pan out. Because legalizing pot isn't an easy thing. It's different than in the States because they can do it state by state, slowly figure out what works,
And they're
what
not
doesn't
and
work.
it's not federally illegal in the states, right?
Exactly.
It's only each state.
It does make a big,
Whatever.
big difference.
He'll figure it out.
Yeah, they will. But
In the
it's
country-
not going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen.
It's going to take a bit.
that quickly, right? I don't know.
It's going to take a bit, but I don't know. I'm for it. I think it's good. It's going to bring a lot of money.
They will. Yeah, they're like giving people back money in Colorado.
Yeah, exactly, right?
It's crazy.
And as long as they do good by that money, then
Well, boys, I think we're gonna focus on the game now. I'm gonna shut this podcast down. Thanks for joining me. I'm gonna have to cut and paste and figure out kind of what I'm gonna
put it in a
keep.
wacky
It's
order.
2.5 hours is quite long with all this baseball talk, but we had some good talks in between. So everyone listening, we will see you next week.
Is that Shaggy?
It was, but that's not.
Attention please.